We're getting closer and closer to the 2022 NFL draft, which means it's time to bring you some player profiles for some of the upcoming rookies that we really love.
That's right.
We're starting with Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. He is 6 foot, 190 pounds, coming out as a junior. In 2021, he put up 70 receptions, 1,058 yards on 19 yards per reception, 12 touchdowns, also added 1 rushing touchdown. In high school, he came out as a 5-star recruit to Ohio State, was a big talent out of high school.
Yeah.
He had a dominator rating of 23.65%. Basically, that is the percentage of his team's yards and touchdowns. That's what he contributed to his reception yards and touchdowns to the team as a total. So, Badaki, you are higher on Wilson than I am. So why don't you tell me a little bit about why you like Garrett Wilson?
He's one of my favorite wide receivers in his draft. He jumped out on film. High IQ. His route running was amazing. The separation was decent. It wasn't the best, but it was good enough in my personal opinion. I just think he can be a very successful wide receiver in the National Football League. And what's good about that is he doesn't have to be your big X wide receiver. He's not going to be the guy that's going to get all the crazy touches, but I think he could be a good complementary receiver, kind of like a Chris Godwin type of workload, I guess you could say, in a fantasy relevant perspective. So everything that he showed on tape was fantastic for me, and I just cannot stray away from Garrett Wilson.
I like Garrett Wilson. I one thing that you didn't say, which I noticed on tape, his hands. Like, the dude catches everything. That's definitely something that stands out on tape. And for his body size, I noticed that he wins more one-on-one balls than I would have thought. I wouldn't have thought that he would have had that ability with how I do see him slightly underframed. I do think that's something that he might struggle with in the NFL is his underframe size. You know, for a wide receiver, he's not necessarily the ideal height, not necessarily the ideal weight. I don't know if he can be that dominant outside X wide receiver because of that. And something that really held me back in his film was, one, honestly, I didn't fall in love with his film. A lot of people did. I agree. He creates separation. He's a good route runner, but I didn't see that it factor for me. It didn't pop off the page like other people are saying.
Right.
And part of that, there's 2 reasons. One, his yak game didn't impress me. I wasn't impressed by the yards after the catch. I think he should be able to do more with his body size. And everyone's calling him a burner, but I don't see that elite speed from Garrett Wilson. Every video I see, people are saying he's a burner. He's absolutely elite speed guy. I didn't see that.
I think he
tape.
has enough speed to be a great wide receiver, and he doesn't have Tyreek speed. He doesn't have these guys that can just blow you out. But like, I think he has enough to get there. Pause. Yeah, he has enough to get there. You know.
So I like him. I'm not as high as you. We're gonna give our ranks here in a second. But who can he be in the NFL? What type of player could he be? Let's give a comp.
Yeah, look, there's 2 people that it's kind of a mix. I see a young OBJ. He came into the league, a good production. Okay. He comes in, and then the way he can be utilized is like a Robert Woods. He can be in the slot. He can, jet sweeps, things like that. So it's a little bit of a mix of a young OBJ and a Robert Woods for me.
For me, I see someone who came out last year. That's Devonta Smith. Okay. Someone who could potentially be limited by his size, but has the talent to overcome that. I don't think he's as fast as Devonta, but I do think he is as good of a route runner as Devonta Smith and a very impressive, pure athlete.
Yeah.
Let's talk about teams that he could potentially fit on well. There's a couple teams that really stood out to me, teams that need someone like a Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
The Saints, Bills, Falcons, Packers. The reason I say the Bills is because I think they need to start replacing these older generation players like Cole Beasley, Emmanuel Sanders. I think he could fit really well, and he doesn't have to be the dominant wide receiver on that team.
Exactly.
Diggs is already there, so he fits as a complementary piece who could still be fantasy relevant. What's your favorite fit for him?
Yeah, I completely agree on the complementary piece. I have the Bills, the Colts, and Titans. Colts with Michael Pittman on the other side. He can play the slot receiver.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Obviously T.Y. is probably going to be gone, and all these other guys. Zach Pascal, I think, is a free agent. And then Titans. Yes, they have Julio, but what's the longevity of Julio? A.J. Brown is the big X wide receiver that's going to get you those deep, long passes. But Garrett Wilson could be a good slot receiver, a good wide receiver too, complimentary. I guess a Corey Davis X type player for the Titans when he was on the Titans.
Okay. All right. I want to know where you rank him amongst all wide receivers. Now, this could change, right? We're early in this process, 100%. But through our scouting, did he have your highest scouting grade for a wide receiver?
He did have my highest scouting grade for wide receiver. He's currently my wide receiver 1 in the wide receiver group. And like Zach said, it's going to be really, really, it's going to change. Things are just going to change.
Especially with Combine and as we learn more about these players. For me, through our grading system, he came out tied for 4th. He's my tied for 4th wide receiver.
It's so different.
People aren't going to be happy about that. Yeah. That's okay. I explained it in a different video as well.
People aren't going to be happy that I have him wide receiver 1.
No, a lot of people do, though. I've seen a lot of people having him 1 or 2. So a lot of people might be upset at me, but like I said, I didn't fall in love with the player. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be fantasy relevant. So if we're talking about Dynasty rookie drafts, I definitely see Wilson. I wouldn't take him, in the first 4 picks of a rookie draft, but I do think he'll probably go from the 102 to the 105 area. That's where I see Wilson probably falling. Are you comfortable with him there?
Yeah, I see him anywhere before the 1.7. I think that's where I think he will be gone. I don't think you can get him any later than that, in my personal opinion.
It depends on if it's super flex or not. But
exactly.
That's Garrett Wilson. We're going to learn more about him. We're going to make more videos about him. Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with Badaki, with me? Do you have your own opinion? Honestly, that's okay because you place your opinion in the comments and other people can see different perspectives. So let's see what Garrett Wilson can do. Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.